Alrighty, everybody, good evening to you. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin here, coming to you live from the Atlanta News First studio, here to talk about the forecast. A couple things we have going on. Number one, you may have noticed today a little cooler than yesterday, by to the 70s, 60s this afternoon. We won't make it out of the 50s tomorrow afternoon, and we're going to kind of stay in this overall cooler, though still at times warmer than normal kind of weather pattern into the middle and latter portion of next week. Temperatures this evening, we're still hanging on to lower 50s in Atlanta, 51 in Canton, Rome, 52, 51 in Gainesville, upper 40s Covington, mid 40s LaGrange and Carrollton. So it's chilly. In fact, chillier than this time yesterday evening. That'll kind of set the stage overnight tonight into tomorrow morning for a pretty cold stretch of weather, though still technically above average, but it's not the overnight temperatures in the 60s we had a couple of nights earlier this week. We were breaking warm overnight low temperature records, and now we're back to something that's a little bit more normal. Again, want to remind you, streaming across many platforms may look a little different. We're not on our Atlanta News First Plus desk tonight. We're in the Atlanta News First studio. And here to keep you updated, streaming right now, monitoring your weather questions, comments, concerns as they may come in on Atlanta News First on Facebook. John White, hello to you. Also, we're streaming on YouTube, Atlanta News First, the account to follow, the account to subscribe to and to like. And we're streaming Roku, Amazon Fire, AtlantaNewsFirst.com, in the news app and in the weather app. So let's talk about out the door conditions tomorrow, because it is going to be a little chillier. Temperatures back in the 30s tomorrow morning. Notice the deeper blues on the map, mid to upper 30s. Frost is possible. 38, your forecast low temperature in Atlanta, but 36 Roswell, Kennesaw, 36. Palmetto 35, 36 in McDonough, upper 30s, mid to upper 30s. Kind of the rule, probably coolest on the west and the northwest sides out the door in the morning. This is not a freeze, but I think this is cold enough to maybe wake up to a little bit of frost tomorrow morning. If you parked outside tonight, out in the driveway, out on the street, may want to wake up a few minutes earlier than normal, do a little scraping, defrosting, just clear off the back window and the windshield before you back out of the driveway and hit the roads, because that frost could be thick in a couple of spots tomorrow morning. I think we will record a freeze in Blairsville, close to it. Dalton, 31 Blairsville, 33 in Dalton, 35 in Rome, 34 Carrollton, 36 Canton, mid to upper 30s Athens, Covington, Griffin, LaGrange, with frosty conditions around the area tomorrow morning. I think especially before 8 a.m. After that, the sun comes up and it's going to melt very quickly, because temperatures are warming up tomorrow. Tomorrow's high temperatures, yes, cooler than today, but still solidly back in the mid to upper 50s, maybe just a touch warmer than this time of year, but within the range of somewhat normal weather for January 6th. Here's that morning commute forecast for your Friday morning. Could not ask for nicer weather. Yes, could technically be warmer, but it's nothing too bad. 43 for the later commuters, 9 a.m. Coldest before sunrise, 6, 7, maybe 7:30 in the morning. Before that window, we're in the 30s, a green light, light breeze. Sunshine once again. We're waking up to plenty of it on our Friday morning, and as we go into Friday afternoon, that sunshine will allow temperatures to respond pretty nicely and to warm back up. Here we are at 3 p.m. Blairsville staying in the upper 40s, but even Clayton up in Rabun County bouncing back into the lower 50s after a low in the lower 30s earlier in the morning. And I think mid to upper 50s, Weedawee, Alabama, Randolph County, Cleburne County, the same story. LaGrange, Griffin, Covington, Athens, Atlanta, over to Rome, Chattooga County, Polk County, everyone in the mid to upper 50s. So a cool start for your Friday. Chilly, cold by some standards, but we're going to warm back up to something that's fairly comfortable. Light jackets, that's about all you'll need tomorrow afternoon, with a few more clouds moving in, especially as we get into tomorrow evening, 5 p.m. These clouds, though, not producing any rain. If anything, the mix of the clouds and that setting sunshine could be a gorgeous sunset on your Friday evening if we time this out just right, so to speak. Again, monitoring Atlanta News First, the Facebook account, answering any weather questions, comments, concerns as they come in. Tyler Sheets, thanks for watching. Tanya Gentry, William Hoovler, John Mary, Pam Rainey, Cheryl Swiley, thank you for watching. John White, hello to you. Cindy Loria Gambrell, thanks for watching. Jeffrey Treadaway, hello to you. And again, tomorrow's going to be a nice day. High temperatures, most of us back in the mid to upper 50s. We'll take a community by community look now. City of South Fulton over to East Point, about 56. 55 Douglasville, Smyrna, northwest side, a little cooler. Temperatures back in the mid-50s. 54 low to mid-50s on the north side. Sandy Springs, Alpharetta, Marietta, 56 Atlanta, and 56 in Decatur. But with sunshine, nice step out into the sun. It's going to feel fairly nice. You may want a light jacket. It's not warm, but it's not all that cold tomorrow, especially in the sunshine. 56 in Lithonia, 54 Beaufort, Norcross, Stone Mountain, Lawrenceville. Temperatures in the low to mid 50s. So a gorgeous winter Friday, and then changes, right? As the text that corresponds with this post on Facebook and on YouTube, if those are the platforms you are watching on, says, we have wet weather on the way. Sunday is a first alert. We're tracking area of low pressure that'll spin up here over Texas in the southern plains, actually related to a storm system that is impacting the west coast. Probably heard about that here on Atlanta News First, spreading rain showers, a couple of thunderstorms throughout much of the mid-south and the southeast. For us, though, this rainfall forecast is from the Weather Prediction Center. Team of meteorologists, they forecast how much rain or precipitation, rain, snow, will fall across the United States. So they monitor the whole country, and for us, they're looking at data as that storm system moves through. They're monitoring trends and indicating that the northwestern half of the area has the greatest rain chance Sunday. Cartersville, Bartow County, Rome, Floyd County up to Chattooga County, Dalton, Ellijay, Helen, Ivy Log points, west from there on into really Alabama, Mississippi, and the Texas Gulf Coast. That's where the steadiest and the most significant rain will be, but you can see very light amounts, less than 1/10 of an inch from Atlanta on south and east, and from about 1/4 to 1/2 inch as an average Sunday afternoon, evening, night. So there will be some dry time Sunday, and it's not really forecast to be a total washout, and the rain really doesn't look all that heavy. Nonetheless, as we pull out that 7-day forecast, an increasing chance of rain as we get into our Sunday. Tomorrow's nice. Saturday, more clouds, but still very nice. Morning's not too cold in here. In fact, a little warmer Sunday morning with all the clouds around. First alert to those rain showers. Temperatures in the afternoon stuck in the mid-50s, and then we'll hit 60 Monday, a drier day, still some clouds. Next storm system that's set to impact the region will be Tuesday. We're looking at hit or miss showers, not much in the way of measurable rain for most of the area, but I think a few neighborhoods could pick up some rain, maybe just enough to make some puddles, but overall fairly light rain in the first alert forecast. And notice how we warm up to 58 on Tuesday. We are still fairly cool on our Wednesday, back to 56, and then we fall even further on our Thursday morning, 37, and we are in the mid-50s Thursday afternoon and tucked in on the tail end of the 7-day forecast. Next Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to be watching yet another storm system moving in from the west, and that one could be wetter and could come with some chillier air along and behind it. William Hoovler, seasonal chills, acceptable range of 50s, lows in the 30s, just not what we went through over Christmas weekend. You're very welcome, William Hoovler, and I totally agree, William. Seasonable chill is acceptable. This is fine. Highs in the teens and the 20s, and the temperatures overnight in the single digits and low double digits, that's miserable. So we can deal with this. This is nothing like what we've had. In fact, these temperatures, some of these afternoons, like Saturday afternoon in particular, Monday afternoon, a little warmer than average, and we have not a single freeze for Atlanta in that forecast through Thursday. It's not 70, it's not record-breaking warmth, but it's certainly nowhere near as chilly as we can be this time of year. So William Hoovler, exactly. Hello to you, Abigail Strickler, Joe Schubert, Bobby Shockley, Joy Shilly Martin, Veronica Kane, Melissa Rosario Sarmiento. Thank you for watching, everybody. Again, if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, chat with folks on Atlanta News First on the Facebook page. Also, Atlanta News First on YouTube, monitoring those feeds as well. Not too many questions coming in. Again, overall, a decent forecast. Want to zoom out, though. We'll talk a little bit about the big championship game going on in California next Monday. So, a few days away from now. But the state of California, much of the West, already being impacted by the series of storm systems that have been impacting the West Coast now for a few days. They'll continue to be impacted by that same weather setup. So bear with me here as I change up my weather graphics, and we'll talk a little bit more about California and what we have going on specifically in Southern California. Few showers out there today. The Atlanta News First team got there, 10 folks, all to bring you the latest on the Dogs as they march towards victory against Texas Christian University, the Horned Frogs. And you can see we have a few isolated showers, even a couple of downpours there across the Los Angeles metro. There is a chance of rain here for the next 48 hours or so. Monday, game day. I think further up the coast, Santa Barbara, San Luis Obispo, going up towards San Francisco, a little wetter on Monday. That is game day. But as we get into Tuesday, as our Atlanta News First folks, as some of them start to come back to Atlanta, as your loved ones, your friends that are lucky enough to go to the game in Atlanta, as they start to come back, or to Los Angeles rather for the game, as they start to come back to Atlanta on Tuesday, probably going to be lit up in rain. They're going to be dealing with delays out of LAX, John Wayne, no matter where they're flying into and out of. Looking like SoCal will be the focus for rain and some wind on Tuesday. That is the day after the big game Monday. But the game day itself not looking too bad. Again, the west side of Los Angeles, working up towards Santa Barbara, and then on up towards Central California, San Luis Obispo. They'll be targeted for rain game day, but not exactly where the game is occurring. So that is some good news. John White says, roll tide. Scary words to say in this feed. Got a lot of Dog fans. Danny Clay, hello to you. Lizette Lowry, thanks for watching. Sheila Williams, hello. Taylor Opinion, hello to you. Again, if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, we're chatting with many folks on Facebook, the Atlanta News First page, talking about game day weather in Los Angeles. SoFi Stadium right about here. This is literally right about where the stadium is, where the game will be played, right around here. A couple of showers into Los Angeles, the west side, Beverly Hills, Hollywood Hills area, and then getting back into the valley. But here in Los Angeles proper, going down towards Long Beach, right now we're dry, scattered showers. There will be a rain chance. There could be some widespread rain here over the next 24 to 36 hours. And then you get a little bit of a break Monday, game day, not looking bad at all, but that rain will be starting to build in. Santa Barbara, San Luis Obispo, as we get into game day, I think for the city itself, for the fans that are there, looking mostly dry, but those flights back Tuesday, back to Atlanta, out of LAX, out of John Wayne, anyone down there, could be impacted by weather. In fact, as we zoom out, we're tracking multiple storm systems set to impact. Had to load up the data there. Here's one. There's a second one. There's a third. Basically, these storms are lined up all the way back into the northwestern Pacific, each of these ready to bring more rain and wind to an already soaked California. They've been in a drought for a while. They desperately need the rain. This is great news for ski resorts, especially Sierra Nevada, and for the overall water supply. But, could impact traveling back home, especially from Los Angeles if you are watching the big game, if you're cheering on the Dogs, or if you're cheering on TCU Monday at SoFi Stadium for the national championship game. Temperatures this evening, we're going to snap back to Atlanta here. We're already cooling back in the upper 40s to near 50 by 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, mid-40s 1 a.m., 42 3 a.m., 40 at 5 a.m., and we will in Atlanta cool back into the upper 30s to near 40 at our mostly clear skylight breeze. Breeze could make it feel a little colder out the door in the morning, but I don't think there's much of a wind chill. It's not a bad morning. Nonetheless, you may want to grab that extra jacket, wear that extra layer. William Hoovler, does what's happening in California negate, resolve the exceptional drought they've had on there for years now, or at least make some kind of dent? William, great question. Yes, it makes a dent, but as we like to say, it takes a while to get into a drought, and it will take a while to get out of a drought. So we are seeing improvements there. In fact, today, Thursday, just got a new drought monitor update. Going to look for that in my system. Again, occasionally I am looking down here to scroll through my graphics and to bring you new images and new graphics and new weather information. We have to change it up a bit so that we can get that view over to California, but I think that this will tell the story even better, because we are already seeing some improvement based on the past 2 weeks. In fact, one of the wettest 10-day stretches in San Francisco history. You have to go all the way back to the 1800s to find a wetter 10-day streak. Again, here is the latest drought monitor. We're going to take it out of North Georgia because we don't have any drought conditions, none. In North Georgia, we have some abnormally dry conditions in the Cleburne, Randolph counties in Alabama, though with more rain coming Sunday for those areas, they may even be able to yank that completely. But here we are back into California, and yes, drought is still widespread, but we're not seeing any exceptional drought. That is this deepest shade of red, kind of that burnt red there. That's in Utah. Utah's drought conditions very bad too. In fact, much of the west and the northwest, from about central Oregon south, dealing with drought conditions. But this is actually improved from where they were pre this 10-day rainfall event. So absolutely, and as this continues, as this wet pattern continues, William, I think the next 10 days, as we look 10 to 15 days out from now, we will see an even greater improvement to this drought map. It's not just the rain that falls, but soil conditions, what the tender conditions are like, what are the plants that aren't dormant this time of year, what is their state of being. There's a lot of factors they look at when coming up with these maps, but snowpack is increasing. They're having incredible snowfall. That is important for spring and summer runoff as that melts, and that's great news for reservoirs, as well as actual rainfall for the in the moment, the more immediate improvement and the more immediate rises on area creeks, rivers, and reservoirs that they use for drinking water and for many other things. We think back to farming. The Central Valley of California, so much around Sacramento, it's all farms. They rely on water, and this water, as long as it can be used responsibly and stored successfully, it's great news. So I know that was a lot of words for just a simple question, but William, yeah, they're already seeing some improvement, and we're expected to see more substantial improvement as this active and stormy pattern continues for much of the west and the southwest. Back here in Atlanta, though, again, pretty calm at the moment. We'll walk you hour by hour. Temperatures 40s, 50s now. We're mostly clear. And as we go into the overnight hours, here we are 1 a.m. on our Friday. Temperatures in the upper 30s to lower 40s north side, mid 40s inside the perimeter, some lower 40s, low to mid 40s sprinkled in on the south side. As we go through the early morning hours, out the door numbers, we'll stop it at 7 a.m. A lot of folks in the 30s. There'll probably be some frost sprinkled in here. Blairsville, Clayton especially. Dalton, a cold spot. Carrollton, you could wake up to frost mid 30s. Cleburne, Randolph counties in Alabama. Troop Heard counties into Georgia 30s. And even Athens 39, that's just cold enough to maybe see a little bit of frost on the roofs, tops of your windshields, places like that. But we do warm back up tomorrow afternoon. Cooler than today, but pretty nice for this time of year. We're going to have a lot of sunshine. Few more clouds than today, but sun more than anything else with high temperatures back in the mid to upper 50s. Light breezes, low humidity. It's going to be a stunner of a Friday in the First Alert forecast. Angela Banks Wilcox, hello to you. Bonnie Darnowski, hello. Dana Pinkard, Delios Martin, and Crystal Collins. William saying, cool, thanks for the info and answering questions in real time. Roxanne will continue to be my go-to for news and weather. Well, thank you, William. Again, appreciate you watching Atlanta News First now. West CBS 46 now, Atlanta News First. Appreciate you watching. And again, any weather questions, comments, concerns, whether we are live streaming or not, feel free to give any of our meteorologists a like, a follow, and shoot them a question. If you have a forecast question, that's what we're paid to do, right? To answer those questions and help deliver that forecast to you. Ella Dorsey, Rodney Harris, Courtney Jacobazzi, Fred Campagna, Jennifer Valdez, myself, all here to keep you updated. And you can reach out to us across all social media platforms, as well as get updates from the Atlanta News app. Forecast is there, but even better than that is the First Alert weather app, an app dedicated just to weather. Still a free download, an easy download, and it's just weather information because we know that's a really important part of our news program and the information we give you, because the weather impacts everybody. In fact, the next day that has impactful weather in the First Alert forecast, it's Sunday, not looking like a total washout, but something to be first alert to, and that's the fact that there will be some rain around Sunday, especially the northwest side. Rome, Dalton, Carrollton, looking and talking to you in particular Sunday afternoon. Some rain moving in. Not going to amount to all that much, but for the outdoor plans, dinner plans, sports practices, any yard work you needed to get done, projects in and around the home, rain could be a factor Sunday. I think a lesser risk of rain, but we're watching it for our Tuesday hit or miss showers in the forecast, and then remaining chilly but dry Wednesday, Thursday. We will be watching, though, the end of that 7-day forecast going out 10 days next Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Could be a more impactful storm system across the east and the southeast. And we'll be updating you on that. First Alert weather app, AtlantaNewsFirst.com. Also, the 10-day forecast is available there. Going to go ahead and let you go. Time now is 8:34. Appreciate the viewership. Again, we'll be live here on TV, actually, anywhere you're streaming this, though, because we're live on any platform that you're streaming this, except for Facebook and YouTube. during traditional newscasts, so you can watch it. Weather app, news app, AtlantaNewsFirst.com, Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, so many places. Full forecast coming your way here in about 25 minutes. Thank you for watching so much. And again, I hope you have a wonderful evening. We'll keep you updated on that Sunday rain chance, some of that new data coming in with meteorologist Freddie Campani and I. We'll break it down for you a little bit here on Atlanta News First.